What was your overall statement on growth mindset?
Well, to me, it's about being in constant learning mode. You need to, somebody that's going to, growth mindset's not a destination. Growth mindset's a journey. It's something you got to work on every day. And it's about learning and evolving and moving forward. And sometimes you're going to go 2 steps back to go 5 steps forward. But it is about this constant movement and journey towards being better every day and putting yourself in constant learning mode. So the statement is, make sure you're in constant learning mode. Everything is an opportunity to learn. When things go wrong, when things go right, when you get a D in a test or get an A in a test, they're all learning opportunities. When someone's doing something right, when someone's doing something wrong, they're all learning opportunities. And this is where emotional intelligence comes in, and mindset is a big part. Somebody that has a very good growth mindset is obviously going to be highly emotionally intelligent. Because they're going to be conscious, they're going to understand motivation, they're going to have a level of empathy, and it's about putting yourself in constant learning mode every day.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what we try to encourage with using a growth mindset as well. Just it opens up so many different views on how learning is, taught and viewed.
Yeah.
What is a situation where you had to adopt a growth mindset?
Probably when I started happening.
Yeah.
In 2002, there was 1,500 competitors. If I had a fixed mindset and said I'm just going to sell coffee, then I wouldn't exist. Looking back now, I had a growth mindset where my mindset was all about how can I actually help a cafe owner make money? How can I help the cafe owner make money? And the way that I get paid is by selling them coffee. A completely different mindset to those of my competition. And I can say that if I didn't have a growth mindset, I would never have built DeBella Coffee to the company that it was, and obviously now I've sold it and I'm starting my new project, the Coffee Commune, and I'm doing the same thing. The Coffee Commune is about adopting growth mindset. It's about being better every day than what we were. It's about solving problems. It's about understanding opportunity, especially with what's going on with COVID. It really is, my first experience, or one that stands out of growth mindset is DeBella Coffee. If I hadn't adopted the concept of growth mindset, I would not have built the company that I did, because everybody else was so fixed in the way they thought about the industry, and particularly they saw coffee as a product. I saw coffee as a service. So I took what was a product industry and turned it into a service industry, and that's what made us successful.
Wow, that's really good. What was the most memorable situation whereby having a growth mindset has been beneficial? I think that'd be your coffee business, hey?
Well, yeah, but using another example, it's currently now with COVID.
True.
You think about with COVID, everyone needs to, you can tell people, you'll be able to see it at school, right? Because this has been a year like nobody knows it, and nothing's going back to normal. This is something that people don't realize. There's going to be some amazing opportunities for people because of what's happened. There's going to be a lot of good things come out of this. Like, everyone should wash their hands before they enter a premises. Everyone should show more hygienic values and systems. Restaurants, cafes, they should be having people register there in case they get food poisoned or something. So there's going to be some really good stuff that happens out of this that will continue to happen. And that's a growth mindset. Versus a lot of people that say the government's wrong, they're just trying to control us. And you'll see it. That's going to be people with fixed mindset. And the people that are going to come out of this stronger are going to be those with growth mindset. And for us, I say, I know I've got a growth mindset. If I ever doubted it, it's because I've always said people are not coming out of COVID any richer in terms of money. Everyone's making less money. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's government, schools, individuals, everyone's making less money. However, we're coming out of this richer because we've been able to slow down and spend more time with our families. We've been able to slow down, spend time, read books when we never did, go on holidays locally, which we never did, visit the local attractions instead of people heading off overseas. So I constantly look at the positive, and that's a big factor behind growth mindset. So I think the current one is a great example of COVID. And anyone that watches this and is watching now will be able to see and understand and say, well, hang on, I've got friends that have got a fixed mindset because everything's doom and gloom. Or, hey, I've got lots of friends that have got growth mindset because they're looking at where the opportunity is, for us. So it's a key one, and it's an important one. Right now is a great time to see even yourself, how do you think? Because it's important in how you talk to yourself and how you program your mind, which is another big part of growth mindset. So COVID is a really good example for me, for everybody else, you know, and that's why I'm launching the new business, Coffee Communes, about helping, you know, everybody in the coffee industry being able to be efficient, to be able to be supported, to be able to be educated, and to be able to be advocated for. That's our opportunity because of COVID, because otherwise it's going to close a lot of businesses in our industry down. And my aim is to try and help them be efficient so it doesn't. And that's a growth mindset, rather than say, hey, business is garbage and everyone's going to struggle and everyone's going to go broke. I said, how can I solve a problem? You know, you're constantly asking that question, then you're definitely in growth mindset. How can I solve a problem for somebody or for myself or for an organization?
Definitely. And my last question is, what is a key message that you would like to share about growth mindset that you would like everyone to know, take away?
Yeah, well, there's a couple. There's three, I think. One, make it part of your everyday. So a lot of people go to the gym every day, they exercise, or they eat their veggies and their fruit every day, or whatever they do. Everyone's got a ritual, right? Brush their teeth, blah, blah, blah. But make growth mindset, make being positive, thinking of the good things, make it part of your everyday lifestyle. You know, what I do, a great tip is 5 minutes before I go to sleep, I think about the day and I process any negative thoughts and I think about what I'm grateful for, but I really put to bed any negative thoughts or anything that wasn't good. And then the first 5 minutes when I wake up, I'm planning the day and getting excited about what the day's ahead's about. So I make that part of and of course, some days I forget and I slip up, but I do it more days than don't. I make it part of my everyday routine. You know, that's number one. Number two, you are what you think. So if you program your brain negatively, you will be negative. If you program it well, you will do well. You are what you think. And an important part of that is the people you surround yourself with. You need to surround yourself with good people, you know, positive people, but also honest people. You don't want people telling you all good things, but they're lying to you, right? You need to make sure that you surround yourself with great people, but remember, you are what you think. And the last part, which has been a big one for me, is don't let others judge you or determine who you are. Be yourself, be authentic. You know, don't be someone that somebody else wants you to be. And I talk about this, be the best you can be. Don't be somebody that someone else wants you to be or what you think they want you to be. Of course, people's opinions matter and people's thoughts of us matter, but don't let that override what you think of yourself. You know, that is a key element to a person who has a strong growth mindset, is that they'll listen, they'll see, they'll observe, they'll ask what other people think and thoughts, but they won't let it determine who they are. They go about being the best that they can be, not the best that somebody else wants them to be.
Wow.
That's really good.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think that we can all take a lot from this discussion today, and it has been really helpful in showing more understanding of what a growth mindset is, how we can use it every day, and how we can develop a business. It's amazing.
Phil, I just have one quick question before you do go, though, and it's a question I probably ask every year because we've been having these conversations for a few years now, even though this one's obviously a little different. And it's a question just around when you're employing staff. And when you interview potential staff, and I'd just like you to talk through that, if you can, about what you look for when you look for potential employees.
Yeah, and I'll give the same answer I do every year.
Is
hire on attitude, and I teach the skill. I'm lucky to be in an industry. I'm not a surgeon. We're not doctors and lawyers, and where you need to have a certain level of skill. In our industry, it really is about the attitude. And I find that the people that have the right attitude learn the best and the quickest. I look for people that are self-motivated. I look for people that are resilient. These are key values. So what I look for is the values of a person. Are they resilient? Are they passionate? Are they authentic? You know, are they honest? If something happens, I don't care if someone burns coffee or breaks something, just tell me. Don't lie about it. You know, so authenticity, you know, integrity, resilience, because we're all going to fall. So what I do is I hire on attitude, and I then put the people around them to teach the skill, whether it's me or somebody else. But I really look at the value of a person, right? And I look at what makes up their constitution in terms of values.
what's those questions you ask about, like where they're going to be in?
So Yeah, so I talk about and I say to them, okay, so tell me where you are now. Where do you want to be in 12 months and where do you want to be in 3 years? And they're very simple questions, but it really shows me where they got any direction and vision for their life. And then the other one I ask is I say to them, what am I going to love about you? But more importantly, what am I going to hate about you? Tell me the worst thing about you. And that tells me two things. One, how honest are they? And two, how well do they know themselves? Because, you know, what we're looking for are people that are honest with themselves and honest with you. And if they're not honest with themselves, they're not going to be honest to anybody else. You know, you ask somebody, what am I not going to like about you? Oh, nothing. I said, well, that's funny because there's lots you're not going to like about me. You know, they're telling me something I want to hear, not something that I need to hear. And in business, it's very dangerous when you have people around you that tell you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear. And you see it in schoolings. What makes Aspley obviously stand out from the rest is you guys don't conform to the normality. Of course, you do legally and all the rest of it, but you guys have got a very different approach to learning and education there. You know, it's all about inclusiveness. It's all about kids being part of it, driving it, leading it. And you can see it. It's, you know, it's the results, a different mindset. Mindset week. Not many schools do that sort of stuff. You know, not me. Last year I had the privilege of sitting around and how timely that was with grade 11ers who were all stressing about grade 12 and the new system, you know, and then throw COVID on top of that. What a timely time to do that. And you guys would have been far better prepared, right, than other people would have been in other schools because they don't do anything like this. And that's what I try and do in business. I try and I call it, give them the vision. So give them the destination of where we want to be, which is the vision, and then provide the banks of the river. And sometimes the banks of the river can go wider. Sometimes the banks of the river got to come narrow, but you've got to let people flow and create their own magic, right? And that's important. So when you hire the people, you've got to hire people that are capable to do that. They're capable to be honest, authentic, resilient, all those values.
Yes, that's great. Phil, we really do consider both you and Gianna to be like true friends of Aspley High, and we really do appreciate your time. And Marissa's already, you know, expressed her great thanks. Hopefully next year's forum we can have you here in person, and we can have the real forum like we usually do. So I'll say goodbye, and Marissa, if you just want to say goodbye. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate and having this conversation with you.
Marissa, thank you.
Yeah. Just hope you have a good day.
Yeah, and congrats on what you're doing, and I hope the students love it. And hey, I'd love to get a copy if I can. So email me a copy if you can, and I'd love any feedback too. What the students thought, because it's not about me; it's about the students. You know, my whole thing is about having an impact on the students to go and be the best they can be. You know, I really the future is all about what's happening now. And it's all about the kids of now. What the kids and the decisions they make now, that's the future of what's going to happen.
Yeah.